imagine there's a different story for everybody. I think probably some of you are curious to know what this is all about, have no clue what to expect this evening. I think others of you may have had a product experience and are just kind of curious to know as a result, or maybe you're here just to support somebody that you want to take a look, or maybe you're just taking a look for somebody that you know and love as well. And but whatever your reason, really glad you're here this evening. And I think you'll find this presentation really interesting because it's a unique way at looking at how to earn money, specifically residual income. And I think a lot of us hear that word thrown around and don't necessarily understand it, or maybe we do have a pretty good understanding of it, but don't really get how it might impact our lives. So regardless, I think you'll find it a really interesting presentation, and certainly right now it's timely because so much is going on in the world right now, and we've had a chance to sit back for a couple of months and contemplate about how we might do things differently. And, you know, there's just absolutely no doubt that a number of us do have to do something differently. And we know this is not a one-off. People are talking about how this is going to be the new normal. Not necessarily all the time, but, you know, it certainly could happen again. So there's no certainty right now. And I think if you take control of your own life, as you can with this, it can create some certainty. So with that, I'd like to introduce our speaker this evening. It's Dr. Evan Hill. And Evan, at one point, was my chiropractor and actually introduced me to all of this almost 14 years ago to the day. I think it was June the 6th, when he invited me to a presentation, and somehow got involved with this community that has just been a wonderful supportive community, and with so many side benefits as well. And so Evan has 3 children. He lives in the Yonge and Eglinton area in Toronto. And he just means so much to me because he has done so much for our community, for our group. And he's put together a fantastic presentation. So Evan, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Andrea. Welcome, everybody. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to be as succinct as possible. And my goal really is to provide value for you in being here. As Andrea said, like, we know that you're probably here because someone invited you. That person sees something for you in this, whether it be to help you with your health or your wealth. Maybe they want to partner with you and in the wealth opportunity, and just really want to welcome you here today.
Guys actually were great.
So just if you haven't muted yourself already, just do so.
And I like how everything tied in.
One sec.
You guys tied it into what the current situation is. And then you were able to go back and look at what the lessons learned were and how we can.
Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with explaining the Isagenix wealth opportunity. So I started with Isagenix back when I was 29 years old. I was referred by a trusted patient by the name of Suzanne Hart. This is back when we were just really at the beginning of our careers. I was struggling with my energy. I couldn't focus between meals. I was stressed out of my mind. And within, it was like 3 days on the products, it was like my life was turned back 13 years, back to when I was a teenager. I was excited about life. I was dreaming about life again. I became very productive and successful in my career as a result of getting my health, both mentally and physically, on track. And so my goal is to share with you, what's available to you. As I learned through this, I discovered the wealth opportunity. I'm going to be sharing that with you tonight, and as we go through this. So hopefully we don't have any technical difficulties here tonight, and we can get through it. So I'm going to share with you a concept called the cash flow quadrant. This was something that was created by Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he really coined this concept, and it really explains how we go about making money. And I find it really fascinating and explains really well what we're doing here and why it is so important. So he talks about this concept and there being a left side and a right side to the quadrant. So the left side of the cash flow quadrant are really trading time for dollar models of making money. So I'll give the examples. On the top left, you have employee. So probably everyone's are familiar with that. You've either been an employee or know someone who's been an employee. I was an employee for 4 years at IGA. It was my first job, 13 years old to 17. After that, I never wanted to be an employee again because I didn't get to call my own shots. Someone was making my hours for me, and it wasn't really good pay at all. It was terrible, actually. So then I ended up becoming self-employed as a chiropractor. So that's bottom left. And for anybody who's self-employed, at least for me, I owned my job, but I eventually realized that my job owned me. And so although I had more flexibility in the choices I was making, I had a lot more responsibility and was actually putting in a lot more hours. So what I find interesting is that this side of the quadrant is 95% of the population and only 5% of the wealth. Now, I was fortunate that my mom gave me this book at an early age. I was only 16, about the right side of the quadrant. It was called The Wealthy Barber. And it was the first thing that really introduced me to this side. So the right side of the quadrant, top right, talks about big business. So big business would be like if you had a product that you came up with. Let's say it's ketchup, and you have people out there selling ketchup and working for you. That's what big business is. Okay, you're leveraging other people's time. You've got a product that you're leveraging, and you're not physically present doing that work. Just a reminder, if you haven't muted your line, please do so. The bottom right-hand side is the investor. So an investor is somebody who takes money to make more money, or so like in, say, the stock market or mutual funds, or you could invest money to make more money through real estate. So those are two examples. Now, what I find really fascinating is that that's only 5% of the population, but 95% of the wealth. So obviously I wanted to get to the right-hand side of the quadrant and been focusing and studying these things. And I didn't ever expect that Isagenix would be that vehicle for me that would allow me to get from that left side to the right side. So I'm going to explain how I went about that and how that works. So this is the Isagenix cash flow model. So you see the same things here. You see the S and the B. And when we come into Isagenix, we're actually starting right here, the bottom left-hand side of the quadrant. So when we get into Isagenix, we can share the products with other people. We can our friends or family or neighbors, that sort of thing, and you're going to get rewarded for your personal efforts, and that's all great. That's a way to make money, and it's kind of like if I had a shop, for example, and I was selling products to the customers that are coming in, that's great. I'm making money from the customers that are coming into my shop, and that's how most people do business. But that's not network marketing, okay? But that's how a lot of people do network marketing, is they actually just sell to their friends and family and that sort of thing, and they stay on this side of the quadrant. They never truly experience the power of this model and get to the right side of the quadrant. So I'm going to be talking about how do we go from the left side to the right side and actually experience leverage. And that's what Isagenix is about. So in this case, when we do that, we're going to earn an income off an entire organization, an entire network, not just our network, but the network of other people's networks, and so on and so forth. So we're going to dive into this leverage model and how powerful this is. So Isagenix leverages 3 very key concepts. And the first one is word of mouth. Second one is exponential growth. And the second one is, and the third one is online and unlimited shipping. So word of mouth, I'm going to talk about that first. Word of mouth is by far the most credible and cost-effective way to move a product in market. Just look at Facebook. Facebook started in a dormitory and it spread across the world through word of mouth with 3 billion people on Facebook. Another example would be Tesla. You know, talking to a trusted neighbor or a friend about a Tesla, they're so excited about it that that person could go online and buy that Tesla from $60,000 to $200,000 through a few clicks of a mouse. That's how powerful word of mouth is. And that's what we're doing in Isagenix, is we're sharing something that transforms lives. Then we have exponential growth. Now, exponential growth, also extremely powerful. You take the concept of doubling a penny every 30 days. How much money do you have at the end of the 30 days? After the first 10 days of doubling a penny, you have $10. After the second 10 days, you have $10,000. And after 30 days, you have $10 million. That's how powerful exponential growth is. But let's not think about it as pennies. Think about it as people. People sharing with people, sharing with people. And that's how powerful, you know, that exponential growth can be. And that's how you create a network, is through people sharing with people. Now, the last thing that Isagenix is leveraging is online sales. Now, we all know that everything is going online these days, especially what's happening with COVID. We're here tonight on this meeting right now because of COVID and everything going online. So we've all heard of the company called Amazon. Amazon has grown from the last quarter, from first quarter of this year compared to first quarter of last year by 26%. That's massive. So why not take part in what's happening in online sales? And that's Isagenix. Isagenix also started online. Back in 2002, they developed the company online and are at the cutting edge of that online movement. They're not like a lot of other companies that started previously that are trying to shift to online, where they're not efficient because they were never online to begin with. It's very expensive for them to do that. So Isagenix is very, very efficient. Now, they're also seeing Amazon as a catalyst to help them see what are people gravitating towards, like unlimited shipping. So Isagenix also has an unlimited shipping program, just like Amazon. But the big difference, though, is that we don't earn 6.78% off of your entire network through Amazon, but you do in Isagenix. And that's what really sets it apart, is that Isagenix gives you a vehicle that can set you free, that can help you go from this side of the quadrant over to the other side and really create an income that has no ceiling because of exponential growth, word of mouth, and online sales. So I'm going to give you the roadmap to earning $100,000 per year in residual income. Now, you may have a target that's less than that or more than that. I'm just going to use this example, and you may not be interested in the income opportunity altogether, and that's totally fine. We're going to give you information that you can really get value out of tonight as well. So I'm going to pretend this is me. I'm coming into Isagenix. I'm coming in, I'm going to start my products. I know about business opportunity, and there's going to be some attributes that are attracting me to this residual income. For example, I'm entrepreneurial minded. I want a leveraged income. I value my health. I like helping people. I like a supportive community. That's what Isagenix is. And so Suzanne supported me in finding the people that I could partner with that were like me, that had similar attributes as I did. And that's how it works. The people that you know are going to have similar attributes to you, that are going to have similar interests as you do. And we're going to identify them, and we're going to partner with them. And you can show them this model by just bringing them to this event, and we'll present the opportunity to them for you. So we're going to call these people team builders. So each of these people now becomes this person. And we're actually going to help them achieve their goal of reaching $100,000 by helping them partner with their 10 people that are like-minded, and those are going to be their team builders. And that's going to get us to a foundation of 100 team builders in our team over the entire time that we're with Isagenix, that's our goal. Now we're going to take it to another level, because not everybody is going to want to get involved on the income side. They may just want to come in and enjoy the product. So we're going to encourage all 100 of these team builders to share Isagenix with 10 customers. Okay, so after all 100 have done that, that's 1,000 customers that are coming in because they want great health. So that's going to bring us now to a total of 1,100 people that are in our organization. So as I was saying, this is through word of mouth exponential growth, and it's going to total 1,100 people. And what does that mean? Well, those people, we're going to educate them to use a transformational program that equals 100 BVs of product per month. I'm going to explain that very shortly. And we're going to earn 6.78% on every single order that occurs in our organization. So it's not just me sharing with my neighbor and earning 6.78%. It's me sharing with my neighbor who shares with somebody who shares with somebody who shares with someone, and that continues on, and I'm earning 6.78% on all of those. Now that equals an income of over $7,000 per month, almost $90,000 per year. Now I mentioned our goal is to help 10 team builders do what we're doing. And when we do that, Isagenix is going to reward us with an extra over $11,000 bonus per year spread out over the course of the year, which brings us over $100,000 a year. Now, this can happen before all this happens. You could have your 10 team builders in your organization and be making that extra $1,000 per month way before you're at 1,100 people in your organization. Now, as I said before, the income opportunity may not excite you, may not be something that you're here for, but you want to just get started with the products, and maybe you would share with a couple people, but not really get involved on the income and leverage side. Well, you can do that too. And if you were to share with a couple people over the course of 30 days, Isagenix is going to reward you with $188 for doing so, which would cover the cost of your products. Now, this is the part that was the game changer for me. I'd never seen anything like this. And I say this often because it got me in the feels. This got me emotional. Being an entrepreneur, trying to make ends meet, coming out of school, having bills to pay, I felt completely alone, completely alone. It was like, you know, I'm just gathering for myself, but it was like, it was tough. And so here I am, and I'm building my organization. And I remember Suzanne coming to me one day and she said, you know, we should show you what's going on with your organization, because I was making some income. It was about 6 months in, and I was making some income. I didn't fully understand where the money was coming from, because this was a new model for me. And I said to her, you know, I really, you know, I can't see what possibly you're going to show me. She said, just trust me. And so she showed me my organization, and I had a lot more than 6 people in there that I had brought in. And that shook me for a sec. I was like, how is that even possible? And she said, well, people have been in the business before you. And I said, yeah, I understand that. And the way I always thought about network marketing is that I was coming in and helping these people make money. And that's what most people think, rightfully so, because that's how a lot of the models are, but not this one. And she explained to me, well, these people are also building their team builders and bringing in their customers. And when they do that, they're going to be bringing people and putting them in your organization, and you're going to be earning 6.78% off of their efforts. Now that caught my attention in a big way. I had never had somebody helping me make money like that with their time and energy and putting somebody into my organization. I never had a chiropractor down the street say, oh, the new guy's here, let's give him some new patients. No, it didn't happen. And if you're an entrepreneur, you probably know what I'm talking about. You know, it can be a lonely sport. This is not. This is a team sport. This is about people helping people. This is about their efforts helping me and my efforts helping them. This is not like corporate, where if I'm going to go up to the next position, I'm going to have guys or people knocking me down, trying to keep me from taking their job. That's not like that. Okay. It's possible for me to actually make more income than them. It doesn't matter when I come in. It's not like a corporate structure where the person at the bottom makes the least and the person at the top makes the most. It's not like that. I could come in, somebody in this call could come in and start building business tomorrow and make more money than I do in a year. That's totally possible. So what is it that we're actually helping people with? So I'm going to explain what that is. Now, we call it the Forever Pack, and it's just so everybody knows, Isagenix has about 70 products, and they are absolutely incredible. Now, I'm going to narrow it down to just 2 products. Now, these products are life-changing. They are transformational. I'm going to show you some videos and tell you about some of the changes that have occurred and absolutely blow you away. I'm even going to share for the first time my health journey with pictures. So I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable right now because it's a new thing for me. I don't like doing that, but I thought, let's give it a try and see how it goes tonight. So bear with me, and I'm going to be showing those at the end. So this product here consists of 2 things. This is a complete meal replacement, okay? Now, it's everything. It's from trace minerals all the way through to grass-fed whey protein, or if you're vegan, you can get plant-based, and it covers the entire spectrum of what your body needs. So this is about replenishing your body and helping it operate at its best. It cannot do that without the proper building blocks. And this product here, called Isagenix, is really focused on helping your body repair. So this is really looking at the DNA level, and it's also going to help with a lot of other things like stress, mental clarity, energy. So it's a very powerful combination, the 2 of them. So everybody wants to know, what is the investment here? Excuse me, that's my kids. What is the investment here for this program? So it ends up being $6 a day for the actual products. But what is the actual change in your budget? So if you're spending $500 a month, how much more per month do you have to spend in order to do this program? Now, keep in mind, you're actually going to be replacing a meal with this. Now, most people, when I ask them how much they spend on a meal, it's anywhere from $6 to $15 per meal. So they're averaging, let's say, $8 to $10 for each meal of the day. So let's just say you're not there. You're at $6 a meal, then you're at a wash. Okay, so it's like you're not paying any extra, but you're not just getting a meal, you're getting a cellular repair at the same time. But on top of that, so let's just put it this way. For most people, their budget increase is actually $0 per month. And it can actually be a savings per month, because now this quadrant here is being self-employed. You now have your own home-based business, and you can now have a host of write-offs that you might not have had before. Even if you have your own business, there's a lot of write-offs that might be available to you now that you never had before. I have other businesses, but I'm able to write, this year with my taxes, I wrote off over $20,000 of expenses because of my Isagenix business. That saved me a lot more than $180 per month in my products. So for most people, they're coming at $0 per month in extra investment, up-leveling their health in a massive way, giving themselves an opportunity to create a leveraged income to really infinite amount with the support of a team that's actually helping them build an income and giving them an opportunity so now they can save some money that on their taxable income. So for most people, it's not so much whether they can afford to do it, it's just whether they want to try it or not. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what is this product all about. So the Isolean shake, it's very simple. You pour it into a cup of water and you blend it and you drink it. It takes about 2 minutes to do. I've been doing it for 15 years. It's absolutely amazing. My wife, who is very picky as far as getting the same meal 2 days in a row, she's been drinking the chocolate shake for 15 years. That's how good it is. Now, some people will argue, well, like, why not just eat healthy food and get all your nutrients from that? Well, our food has gone through an evolution, and it's not a good one. Okay, so they did a study in UCLA where they compared spinach from 1953 to 1997, and one bowl of spinach in 1953, the equivalent nutrition, it took 43 of bowls of spinach to match that nutritional content. So the food has gone through a radical shift. So it may look like great food, but it doesn't have the same mineral content. and the other nutrients in there. So people are lacking energy. They're using sugar and caffeine to make up the difference, but that's not really health, right? And so that's what I found when I started taking the shake. It really impacted my energy and my health. So let's talk about the telomere support. So what is the telomere support, the isogenesis side of it? So this is your DNA, and on the end of it, you have a telomere. And the telomere is like a protective cap that protects your telomere from fraying and falling apart. So when our cell replicates, our telomeres actually shorten, and they get to the point like this where the cell dies. This is called senescence. All right, so that's how the telomere works. And so when we're born, we have long telomeres. So this has over 8,000 units. And then as time goes on, the units continue to go down. Okay, so you're down at 7,000. Okay, and now 6,000, we get to the point where we end up dying, okay? So they've linked the shortening of telomeres to our aging process. And as they shorten, they've also linked them to associated chronic diseases, things like cancer. They've shown that the shorter the telomere, the greater the cancer incidence or the cancer mortality. And then there's others like hypertension, atherosclerosis, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, obesity, diabetes, metabolic diseases. All these different things are more likely to occur as our telomeres shorten. So this man here, Bill Andrews, who you're going to learn a bit more about, he was studying the telomeres for 19 years. And he came up with and discovered telomerase, which actually puts the unit back on the telomere. So it's actually helping repair the telomere. It's absolutely extraordinary. So I'm going to show you a short clip, because what happened was Harvard took his Nobel Prize winning research and applied it to mice. And hopefully my screen comes back in a second here. Yes. I'm going to show you this clip here on what Harvard did. Okay, so I'm going to explain who's here. So this is Bill Andrews here, and this is Dave MacArthur. Dave MacArthur is an associate with Isagenix, and Bill's endorsing everything that Dave is saying. Dave MacArthur is like a mentor of mine. He's been sharing the Forever Pack with people, and he's at a point now where his network is so big of people using these products, he's earning somewhere between $900 and $1 million per year. And he has studied very closely the telomere support and has been educating people on it. And Bill is endorsing everything he says. So you're going to hear a little bit from Dave at the end here, and you'll learn a little bit more about Bill. But here's what Harvard did in a new study. This is absolutely mind-blowing. Here we go.
Just, everybody to listen to. Now, Bill published his work, and then Harvard picked it up off of Bill's published work, and they did it with mice, and this is what ABC News had to report on.
And now, eternal youth. Is it in a cage around the corner? News tonight of a breakthrough for some pioneering mice. But we always wonder, what does a fountain of youth for rodents reveal for humans? Here's Sharon Alfonsi reporting.
I feel tremendous.
In the movie Cocoon, it's a swimming pool that turns back the clock for a group of senior citizens. But now researchers have found a way not just to stop, but reverse the aging process. The key is something called a telomere. We all have them. They're the tips or caps of your chromosome, seen here in yellow. This is what it looks like in a young adult. But as you grow older, the telomeres become damaged and frayed, and as they stop working, we start aging, experiencing things like hearing and memory loss. Scientists took mice who were prematurely aged, added an enzyme, and essentially turned their telomeres back on. You can see it before the enzyme, after.
Their brain function improved, their fertility was restored. It was a remarkable reversal of the aging process.
Look at this picture. The mouse on the right has bad skin, gray hair, and is balding, but the one on the left had its telomeres flipped back on.
And you could see that essentially you now have a dark coat color, that the hair is restored, that the coat has a nice healthy sheen to it.
Even more dramatic, the change in brain size. This is before the mice had 75% of a normal brain, like a patient with severe Alzheimer's. But after the telomeres were reactivated, the brain returns to normal size.
And to say that caught my attention is an understatement. That blew me away. And I read the papers that were published on these mice. They barely touched the tip of the iceberg in that news article. This is why it was given the Nobel Prize, because that's a living, breathing mammal, just like me and you, not skin cells in a petri dish, which is the work that Bill had done, which led to this. So critical, all these steps that have taken place. Now, their mental acuity, it was like severe Alzheimer's. They didn't have any ability to reason or recall memory, and they were failing the test miserably. But then they activated this enzyme, and what they saw is the DNA started repairing in all of the cells. What does that mean? This damaged DNA was being put back together, just like software being restored in a computer that's having some problems. The computer works perfect. That's what they saw here with their brains. And not only that, the lean tissue. You can see how the brain got bigger. This is before, after, before, after. And so their cognitive ability was back. They can now pass the test with flying colors. Also, their bones and their muscle, the atrophy was reversed. Their bones grew back without changing their diet. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are taking extra calcium because they have osteoporosis, yet that doesn't improve their bone density. It's not the calcium that's going to do it. It's the expression of the DNA. Whatever the expression of the DNA is going to be the expression of this physical cell. And they saw that. I mean, Nobel Prize winning for sure, right? So many other things too. Their cardiovascular system, the heart started ejecting faster and stronger, which means oxygen's now pumping.
Okay. Totally mind-blowing stuff there. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you is a few observationals. So when I got started on the Isagenesis, I noticed a lot of different things improving in my body. So my energy, my mental clarity. I noticed that when I was exercising, I was maintaining and even increasing my my muscle mass much easier. So I'm going to actually share those pictures with you shortly. But I'm actually going to go through some observationals that that Dave MacArthur found in his team, and do my best to share with with as many of his words as possible what occurred with these people. So it's very exciting. So it's important to note that with the Isagenesis, we're not diagnosing, treating, or curing any disease or illnesses. This is really about giving the body the nutrition that's going to help your body do what it knows to do. So your body's really, truly the miracle. You just have to give it the right building blocks and help remove anything that's hurting it. And the body is really the miracle. So keep that in mind. So this first observational is about this woman right here, Molly. So Molly wanted to do this. It's called the Ultra High Marathon. And this is actually 138 miles for 60 hours consecutively, and no female had ever completed it. So she tried it and failed, and then she went on the Isagenesis, and 2 years later, she attempted it again. So only 6 people ever have actually completed this race, and she became the first female to ever do this. Remember, this is at 13,000 feet. Between going 13,000 and 18,000 feet. So the improvement in endurance and ability that she achieved because of this is absolutely extraordinary. Bill Andrews, who actually created the Isagenesis, decided next year that he was going to do the race and became the oldest person to ever complete it at 60 years old. This guy has been a runner for most of his life, and he's been breaking records that he set 20 years ago. He broke one record by 50 minutes. Just really, truly unbelievable. Now, Dave MacArthur himself decided at 46 years old he'd pick up motocross. It's just amazing what people do when they start feeling healthy. Like I know for me, I started to get back into basketball and play at a really high level back like I did when I was in high school. And that's what happened to Dave. 25 years ago, he was in motocross and he picked it up and he said he was beating the teenagers on the track with his endurance. Now, unfortunately, he shattered his leg because of motocross, and the orthopedic surgeon said, you are not going to walk for a year, because it was just like shattered it like glass. And he was actually back walking, running again, actually after 3 months, and back on the motocross in 4 months. So the Isagenix has the ability to help somebody repair. So if someone has had trauma, even if it was a past trauma, those cells can communicate, they can heal, and some really incredible things can happen when that occurs. Here we have Dick. So this is quite a story. So here he's 82, and he's actually preparing to go into a nursing home. He got started on the products because of his daughter, Amy. And here he is at 83. Here he is at 85, and here he is at 87. And he didn't go into a nursing home. Here he's now 89 years old, and he's doing push-ups. He's talking about getting a girlfriend. He's still driving, living a normal life. You know, we talk about repairing DNA and the impact that can have on people. It can really help turn back time for them. This is an extraordinary one for me, being a chiropractor. So this is Molly. So seeing how much kyphosis she had in her back, this is an extraordinary kyphosis. And she got going on the products, and you can see a massive change in her body. It was to the point like her chin was like stuck to her chest there. And you can see here, this is 3 years later, that her chin is lifted right up off her chest. So this is 80, this is 83. So this is Malcolm. Malcolm was an avid skier, but he couldn't make it past 2:30 in the afternoon going skiing, and he got going on the products. He now opens and closes the lifts. He's doing, you know, the hardest runs, and he's getting down there, and his car is like the last one in the parking lot at 60 years old. And if anyone else is a skier in this, that is hard to do consecutive days, and he's pulling it off on a consecutive day basis. So this woman here, I don't remember her name at the moment, but she had been homebound for 3 years. She came to a meeting. She was actually had made arrangements at the funeral home, and she got started on the products. This is 2 days later, 3 days later, and she's living a normal life with a family and horseback riding and the whole bit. This is Bob Sheridan. He was in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Crosby's house?
He was
Crosby's house?
Just 1 second.
Bella's house? Want to go to Bella's house?
Just gonna mute somebody. Okay. Well, can't seem to go back here. Okay. Yeah, so this is Bob Sheridan. So he's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. So he was actually set to get a cardiovascular surgery, and they refused him. They said they couldn't do it. He was too brittle. His cardiovascular system couldn't operate on it. They sent him home, you know, take care of business and prepare. And he got going on the products, and he's still announcing today. This is him 2 years later, but you can see the transformation in his face. I'm sure he dyed his hair, but you can still see in his face there how much younger he looks. This is Chantal. Now, she was experiencing a lot of discomfort in her body, and there's actually some things in the Isagenix that help the body with inflammation, for example. She was able to wake up after 2 years of severe pain. She wasn't able to sleep at night, and she got going on the products. She was able to wake up after a full night's sleep of no discomfort. And she thought it was a fluke at first, but you know, after that continued, after some time, she was convinced and started sharing the products with others. Now the youthfulness, this is Angel here. She's actually 40 years old, fitness competitor, you know, and people thinking that she's 25 years old. Now, who wouldn't want that? I mean, that's something, you know, I like it when people tell me I look younger than I am. So All right, guys. So here's my transformation. I have 3 kids, and I didn't prioritize working out during that time. I was taking the shakes every day, and it was helping me with energy and all that sort of thing. But I was wanting to put more muscle on. Let's put it that way. So I started working out, and I was working out every day for 20 minutes per day because that's all I could do as a dad. And after 6 months, that's how I looked. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a fitness competition at 39 years old. And so I did. And I placed 3rd place. And so this is really for any guy who wonders like, hey, can I put muscle on with this? Is this going to help me with my physique? Not only is it going to help you with your physique, but you can do incredible things with not a whole lot of effort. Like, yes, it took effort to get here, but here I am. I decided, well, I'm going to get some modeling pictures done just for kicks because I'll probably never look this good again. And I thought, you know what, I can't keep up with the 20 minutes a day, so I'll just do once a week workout. And this is a picture I took last week. All right. And this is me on the Forever Pack, 1 shake a day. And I'm maintaining what I had that I worked so hard for. And this is 3 years later, guys. You know, that's absolutely unbelievable. And then, you know, I'm big into basketball, and I got back going on again. I could not touch the rim for the longest time, but I got going on the products, and that with, you know, the exercise. I'm back touching the rim again at 43 years old. That's like insane. I never thought I'd ever touch it again. My family, they're all using the products. My kids take the shake once a day. You know, they're all lean. They're all, you know, good muscle mass. My son's the fastest kid on the team with hockey. You know, it just really helps give kids the building blocks to be healthy. And my wife, she's had 3 kids. Now she had a challenge with keeping her weight down. She used exercise all the time to keep her weight down. And then when she got going on the products 15 years ago, like I did, she doesn't even try anymore. She doesn't even have to try. She's just using their products. And we had a little ab off here where, you know, she's showing her ripped abs. And I did post this on the internet, so I know she's okay with me sharing that. But this is her at 44. I mean, she gets compliments all the time, and there's a lot of women on this call right now who look a lot younger than their age because of these products. Andrea, I don't think you've aged a day since I met you. So that's everything, guys, that I wanted to share with you. I hope it was value.